Dialectic center is another important term in relation to our understanding of diaxis in pragmatics. Whenever we use a dialectic or an axial, we have to make certain assumptions about the context because generally we can understand the meanings of a dialectic expression in relation to its context. For example, if we listen to some statements like, oh, the post box is on your left, or the library is on your left. So we have to assume a certain context in which we can see addresses context. And by looking into addresses context or the position where he is right standing at the time of utterance, we could assume that where is the left or where is the library on his or her left. So we have to make certain assumptions based on such statement, and especially when a diacritic expression is being used in a statement. The default diacritic center is speaker's location. It may be addresses location. Diacritic center is the location from which we ascertain the direction of a certain utterance or direction of a certain movement which is being mentioned by a diacritic expression. So usually it is, if nothing is mentioned, so it should be understood that it is speaker's location which may be diacritic center. But in most of utterances, it is pointed out. Let's have a look at the statements in front of you. Just along the corridor on your left. And the second statement is just along the corridor on your right. The diacritic center has shifted in these two statements. In the first statement, you can see it's on your left, and in the second statement, it is on your right. So diacritic center has shifted from statement A to statement B. So we now have to see where is the left and where is the right. Let's see how does this happen. The use of on your left and on your right is diacritic since the same location is being indicated by two different expressions and can only be determined by the context. Only when you know the context, you can see that a certain thing is on your left or on your right. In this case, the direction which the addressee is facing, one who is being addressed in these statements, it's his direction by which we can imagine that where the thing which is being pointed out actually is located. So it is related to addressee. But the co-text associated with left and right, the lexical item your, advises the addressee to have a look into the diacritic expression, because by using the word your, the speaker has shifted the diacritic center from him or herself to the addressee. Now addressee has to see that it's his left or right where the desired location exists. So in such a situation, we can say that the diacritic center has shifted from the speaker to addressee, or in other words, from a marked norm of location to a marked alternative, which is location of the addressee. Sometimes a shift is accomplished without the co-text. It's not necessary that all the time we do refer to a certain thing and we do have a diacritic expression to show this shift from speaker to addressee. It is not necessary. Sometimes it may be without any mentioning in the co-text. The context itself is sufficient to prompt the addressee to draw this index, that what is being pointed out, that their location rather than the speaker's location is the diacritic center. For instance, if Ali is the hider in a game, a character Ali is hider in a game, and he says aloud behind the tree to the seeker. So the seeker in such a situation should use his own common sense or good sense to infer what Ali is saying or the hider is saying. So in many situations, we have to infer or we have to generate inferences from what is being talked about in order to see this shift of dialectic center instead of looking for the text or the utterance all the time. It is very common for the speaker to update about the dialectic center in long discourses. Usually, dialectic center may shift from one location to another in lengthy discussions or debates. In such situations, a good speaker is usually assumed to indicate such a shift so that the listener or the addressee may understand any shift in the dialectic center.